There's a wonderful children's author who's written, I think, over 600 books. She's British. Her name is Enid Blyton, and I enjoyed her books when I was younger. I still enjoy reviewing them from time to time. Today, they bring back nice memories. And there's something that goes on in the back of these books that, for whatever reason, I've never come across in other books, but it's a great example of what I see as one of the bigger wasted opportunities in cultural dimensions. And it's the gamification of culture in harnessing both the natural competitive spirit to excel, to find out, to be first, and the spirit of curiosity. So when you add curiosity and the desire to excel, to be first, to explore, to find out, it adds a noticeable sense of satisfaction. So at the back of the book, there are like, how well do you know the island of adventure? Take this quiz to find out. So you get, where do Philip and Jack meet? And then they'll give, A, B, C, D, and you pick the one, and then you check your answers at the end. But then there's also a crossword puzzle, right, with key names. How many of these names can you find in the crossword puzzle? Now, this creates a sense of belonging, engagement, and accomplishment. And it's stunning that you can go to a hospital today and while you're most in need of a fun distraction, be given 0 games. There's not how many rooms are there in this hospital with the letter A? What was the land used for before it was built into a hospital, A, B, and C, C, or another game, like see if you can find all the presidents of this country on, different points in the hospital. You see, as soon as you bring in that dimension of play, you still have the pain identity. I'm in pain, I need help, I'm in pain, I need help, when is it going to come, what's going to happen? You still have that, because that pattern of thinking, feeling, speaking, doing, and being is set in motion by the pain. But we feel most vulnerable when our entire pattern is centered around one thing that is fragile. As soon as we bring in another identity, another pattern, where we can mediate between multiple identities, then it becomes much more bearable. Now, this is one reason why people who are going through a crisis, who choose to take care of someone else who's going through a crisis, can experience a tremendous sense of relief and extra strength. Because you now have 2 identities, 2 patterns between, managing your own pain, which feels overwhelming, but you're also taking care of a child and putting that first. So you're distracting yourself, right? You're not fully identifying with you. You have a transcendent identity that is beyond, right? And it is an enormous asset to have a transcendent identity. So there's nothing of that going on in a hospital, and yet the gamification of hospitals could very likely reduce 20% of the chronic and unnecessary suffering in the hospitals. All you have to do, as I say, is do some quizzes and then have the most successful award for each, patient that week or that month, and it's up there. And you've got, now I'm a successful award winner or I'm a second place award winner, or I'm going to be that. Now you've got something constructive to deal with. And what's stunning to me is that people might spend $200 million enhancing the patient experience, quote unquote, or doing this and doing, paying a fancy architect, but not even spend $1 to just receive the idea from a 10-year-old on how to gamify the hospital, which the 10-year-olds would give you for free. And which would delight adults as well, right? So, guess the names of the cats that are going around. Look at, the names of flowers in the garden. See if you can spot the mystery word in different letters and different shapes throughout the garden. We go on garden tours. And you go on the garden tour and it's like, okay, is this it? Is it looks nice, looks nice, looks nice. But as soon as you bring in, right, there are 10 letters in this garden. They may be in rocks, they may be in metal, they may be in glass, they may be in plants, they may be big, they may be small. But those 10 letters spell a word. Anyone who guesses the word, right, will get a free cutting that was once in Henry Thoreau's garden, or was Henry Thoreau's greatest plant. Now the whole thing takes on a 30% thicker dimensionality, a 30% more engaged reality, because we're allowing the environment to touch more of us, right? You can go to a 5-star hotel, pay $600 a night, be able to order any food from around the world, and not have a single table to sit in and play a game with other hotel guests. Why isn't there a table, the game table, where anyone who wants to play a game in the hotel goes there and discusses or starts games? Right? As soon as you have that, it doesn't matter if you're in a 5-star hotel or in a 1-star hotel, you're lost in the game, right? There's swimming places all over the place. This hotel has this beach, this hotel has this beach. As soon as you sink some concrete sculptures, a few $1,000s off the ground, and say, find the names of the sculptures underwater. Oh, can I do that, Mom? This, the whole thing becomes this. I saw a slithering fish when I was looking through there. I want to have goggles. I want the whole thing, right? And so what I would suggest is that in traditional culture, there is a 10x opportunity that is chronically missed. You go to a mall, you wander around aimlessly with not a single theme uniting the thing. You go to a doctor, they don't say, solve the dental quiz and we'll give you a free candy or something. No. Or a free teddy bear. No. Right? Sit there and we will call you. What a fucking idiotic protocol. Sit and wait and be bored. You goddamn motherfuckers. Is this the best you can do? Right? Why is this not occurring to anyone? Why isn't it occurring to everyone that we are missing a cultural dimension in almost all arenas of the boring, suffocating, narrow, thin dimensionality of our modern world? Right? Does modern have to be stupid? Does it have to be boring? Does it have to be narrow? Do you have to see the same fucking square things over and over and over again with the same fucking background music going there and then say, oh yeah, that's a good modern representative of house music? Very good, very good. Is that the best the cult can do? Right? Repeat itself with incredible boredom? Now, as with most idiotic things in the cult, the answer is almost free. And what we gain for almost free is a 30 to 300% increase in the enjoyment of all of the other enormous expenses that go into, creating an environment where, So as soon as you have a business that has a weekly quiz in each of its aisles, right? You have to go down each aisle and see the answer to a quiz. As soon as you have that, you have not only kids taking their family or going into these stores every week to do the quiz, you actually have an excited, engaged child rather than a furious, tantruming child as mom looks at nighties and does this and that, right? As soon as you go into a mall and there are sculptures and you're asked the question, do you know which sculpture is which Roman god? And then you have all the Roman or the Greek gods or whatever laid out in interesting bronze, right? And then you put a guess in, and if you hit the app in your phone, you get 100 points to spend in the mall or whatever. As soon as you do this, right, we're talking pennies or free, right? Because you don't have to give out points to spend in the mall, right? You just have to get all 10 correct, and you can take a photo in the correct winner's booth, right? Here's the photo of I got them all. Take a selfie, I got them all here. That's it, right? Done. You've now got a destination. You've got Greek mythology training. You then might spur, what things connected to Athena would have anything to do with this mall? Well, she was the goddess of this and the goddess of that. So, go to J.C. Penney's and there's a vase that was there with the Greek thing. This is it's a mind-bogglingly vast opportunity to have a 30 to 300% higher quality of experience in life for all participants. Because in a family, there's only going to be like 2 people interested in this. That's fine. Those 2 people are the ones that are most dissatisfied when it's not there. So you go from 2 whining, complaining, bitter members of a family to 2 members that are so excited and take the photo, look at me, that actually mom feels happy to be around happy kids, right? So it's enormous in its impact. It's minuscule in its cost, meaning every intelligent design looks to have a disproportionate impact for the cost. And in this case, we're looking at a 30% to 300%, maybe even in rare instances of a 500% increase in well-being for a one-time fixed cost, which these malls, for example, have lots of crappy art all over the place anyway. It just doesn't engage curiosity because they haven't asked any question. There's no sign at the beginning of the mall, begin the quest. Like, why not have 3 quests in every mall? And each time you pick up a thing, right? That determines your quest. One, you might have the Greek god quest. You might have the magical artifact quest. You might have the intelligence quest, and split up based on person, so that there's as a person, and then you just update them once a month in some way. So that there's a little bit of variation. But even if you don't, even if you just have 3 permanent things, and that's it. It's all you do, right? You've made the experience, first of all, wonderful for that 50% demographic that loves that kind of thing. But then you've brought a nice memory. Even if I did that quest, and then they can bring their friends. I did that. You see if you can spot the Greek gods or the saints or whatever it is, right? So this is huge because the typical mall that I go to costs anywhere from $5 million to $70 million to construct the ambiance, right? The gardens, the architecture, the facade, the passageway, the little water. They're spending $70 million to get pretty much a pleasant, boring, oh, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. That's all, right? And so $70 million is the baseline just to get people to show up and want to wander through the stores. $70 million. Now, on the cheap end of what I'm talking about, picking a few stepping stones and just saying, look at your feet. As you walk, you may come across the footprints of gods. See what you find. And circle where you found it. 2 cents of paper, someone giving a slight thought to where pavers are set in the ground and imprints in the concrete, $3,000? And for the next 10 years, you're having 30 to 500%. Now, if it cost $30 million to get a 30% boost, it's worth it. You break even, right? They spent $70 million to get you to where you are. And if you spend $30 million to be 30% better, that's in line. But we're not talking about $30 million. We're not even talking about $300,000. We're talking about $3,000 to open up something. You can even do it on a QR code and give it out to kids around the world to set the game that, where they go to different places, click on QR codes and answer questions and or they get to engage with someone in another mall who's a winner. Like, well, I'm from so-and-so and this, and then, and if you both win within an hour, you get to say hi to each other, right? I mean, this is an incredibly cheap, just blind spot in the cult, right? I don't actually know anywhere where this is happening. I'm sure it is in some, kids' theme parks and all that. But why isn't it in every mall? Why isn't it in every library? Why isn't it in every school? Or at least where you want kids to explore. Why isn't it in every park? Why doesn't every park have 5 themed games built into the park? So that you have a reason to, who wants to go to the park? If you're 10 years old, there's a bit of lawn and some flowers. You're going to go there and then go back home? But if you have 5, themes, right? So that's the core thought and the core protocol of a 10X culture is that gamification is built into everything. You have 3 games. You design them, right? You pick, as part of a member of a 10X culture, you pick the 3 games that you want to have people who want to get to know you. Do you want to do riddles? Do you want to do facts about you? What are 7 facts about your life that not many people would know, and they get multiple choice questions? So you pick 3 riddles, 3 games, 3-dimensional expansions about you using the cultural app, right? And anyone who wants to get to know you can see 1, the games you picked, and 2, you can say, okay, if you answer this and this, I'll spend 30 minutes with you, getting to know you. So a stranger could pick your games or start doing this and that, and then reading your profile and then, engaging. You go to a park, it has educational and fun dimensions bleeding out in all different aspects. Now, what's missing and what's needed is a cultural dimension designer. If you want this woven into your culture, where every mealtime has interesting themes, where every space, in community has interesting themes, where every person has interesting themes, where you go swimming and there's, an underwater educational opportunity. You go in the garden, and then you have quizzes, and then you build it into gathering rituals. See, the remarkable thing is we have something called trivia, meaning meaningless pursuit, the pursuit of meaningless information. And as boring as the pursuit of meaningless information is, people are all interested. Well, how about fucking important, amazing information? How about that, right? We don't have any. Get rid of the trivial pursuit and put the fucking amazing information pursuit. And anyone who comes up with anything that's amazing that we haven't thought about gets a game and wins that prize for doing that, right? You just submit something that's an amazing piece of information, and everyone in the cult can say, yeah, that's amazing, right? And if you get 90% of the cult, of the culture, to say that that's amazing, right? Then you get the amazing information submittal award of this, that, and the other, right? Maybe you get some hugs and kisses from the fluffers at the next community meeting. This is fun. This is exciting. And we're talking a pretty easy, low-hanging fruit victory lap to a 300% increase in well-being, games, curiosity on all sides. And it's just fun, playful, and thick. It makes reality thick, juicy, and dimensional.